If you love the window shopping of Bond Street and Mayfair, but also love browsing through a market and taking the time to enjoy food and drink, we may have just found the ideal London place for you, here at Spitalfields Market. With 350 years of history at this market, this is a combination of the old and new Spitalfields Market. Of course, now you're looking at a refurbished market from October 2017, but the market was created in 1638 when King Charles I gave a licence for flesh, fowl and roots to be sold on Spitalfields. Back in 1638, this area of land was a rural area on the eastern outskirts of London. As you can see, with the benefit of a roof, it doesn't matter what the weather is doing outside. This is a great place to come and visit, whatever the weather is doing. Because Spitalfields is sort of marking the edge of the boundary from the City of London into East London, it's really easy to get to. Liverpool Street is just around the corner, and you've got the Circle, you've got the Met, you've got the Central lines. Not only that, you've got the Overground as well, so there's no real excuse not to be able to get down here. The market is open and operating 7 days a week, but if you really want to get the most from it, definitely come on a Saturday and Sunday, because nearly all the stalls are in operation then, because of course that's when you've got lots and lots of people coming down and spending their lovely money. Now, if you like specialist markets, sorry, I better redefine what I mean by that. If you like to come down and see a vintage market, that happens each Thursday. Sorry, that's the market and not yourself. And alternatively, there's a vinyl fair on some Fridays as well. And with vinyl picking back up again, wow, you might come down and find the odd bargain. So if you're coming down here about mealtimes, as you can see, there's plenty of food and different types on offer, and loads of places that you can sit and enjoy the food in the comfort of watching what's going on around you at Spitalfields. So the great thing about Spitalfields is you've got a great selection of different types of foods, stalls and crafts, but also you have these different types of branded shops around the outside. And here, yes, you have Chanel. Interestingly enough, it's probably one of their quieter shops, because if you think of Chanel, you probably think of Bond Street, which we've covered before in videos on this channel. You'll find that these shops go around the outside of the whole market complex, with the stalls and the eating areas being in the middle of it. Whilst the market's been here since 1638, this is the oldest part of the market and dates back, as you can see, to the Victorian times. These buildings date back to 1885 to 1893 and were commissioned by Robert Homer, who was the last private owner of the market. See, even in those times building projects took a little bit longer than usual. The original wholesale fruit and veg market moved from here back in 1991, and much like most of the markets in central London, they moved to the outskirts where it was a bit cheaper to do and you could actually spread out a lot further. A new Spitalfields Market is open today and it's over near Leighton. Whilst we're having a good look round, let me tell you a little bit more around the area. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Steve, what does Spitalfields come from? What a funny name. And you're right, it is. It actually comes from the form Spitalland, which is in 1399, it was recorded as that, as Spitalfield on the Woodcut map of London, which is around 1561, and as Spitalfields, also known as that in 1561. Now, the original form of the name comes from 825 years ago. I'll help you out. That's back in 1197. The land belonged to St Mary's Spital, a priory or a hospital. It was a lodging for travellers run by a religious order, and it was placed on the east side of Bishopsgate thoroughfare. In other words, in this area where we are now. There's so much history here, and I'm going to go back even further. But before we do, if you're loving this video, please don't forget to hit the like button so we can get this video to more people so they can see it and enjoy it as well. Now, the priory we just talked about from 1197, which was called the New Hospital of St Mary, without Bishopsgate, was actually built on the site of a cemetery, which dates back to the Roman times. The cemetery was positioned here because it was to the left of Bishopsgate, which was the main thoroughfare which led to the north of England, which the Romans used. And Bishopsgate will be something we look further into in a future video on this channel, where we look at more of some of the Roman influences in London. The cemetery was a part of a major focus of an archaeological excavation in the 1990s, following the redevelopment of the Spitalfields Market. In 2013, there was analysis done of a tooth enamel that was found at the site, and this was done at Durham University. Incredibly, this led to the identification of the first person from Rome known to have been buried in Britain, who was a 25-year-old woman who was buried in a lead-lined stone sarcophagus. The dating of the tooth put this at the middle of the 4th century AD. Whilst we've been looking at Spitalfields Market, the area of Spitalfields covers a little bit of an area of East London, going from Commercial Street, covering Brick Lane, Christ Church, Toynbee Hall and the Commercial Tavern. Interestingly, not only do you have this market over here at Spitalfields, you've also got Brick Lane Market and Petticoat Lane Market, all within the area of Spitalfields, all within a short, well, sort of spitting distance of each other. I hope you've enjoyed the selection that we've shown you from this market, and also some of the different things you can buy on the stalls. I'm going back to the hat market, because I don't know about you, but it's cold this winter. I love Spitalfields. It's just one of those great places you can go. It doesn't matter what the weather's doing, you can keep dry and keep fairly warm as well. And also, if you just fancy doing window shopping, that's either of the stalls or alternatively the nice branded shops, then you can do. Now, if you like some of those upmarket shops, then I've put a video up in the top right hand corner, which is to Bond Street, and it's our visit down there, so you can see some of the lovely shops they have down in Bond Street.